Hey everyone, it's Lisa with Mimi's DIY Journey. Thanks for joining me today. I am going to do a flip through of this new digital kit. This was designed by Pam over at Silver and Sparkles. This is actually a freebie that she has. So I will leave a link to her video in the description box below, where you can go over and check out what she does with the digital kit. Pretty amazing. But in her description is where you will find the link for this free 8-page kit. So let's do a flip through. So we have 3 digital papers that are very pretty. Red, white, and blue. Love them. Got some polka dots, and then we have some ephemera and some fussy cuts. Look at those cute little flowers. I love it. And then we have some sentiments. Let's see. Isn't that just amazing? I think that is so pretty. And then some journal cards. So now what I did is I printed out a couple more of the journal cards, and then some more of the journal pages, just in case I need them, which I will probably need the journal pages. So yes, please go over and check out her video. Give her a thumbs up, leave her a comment while you're there, and also don't forget to subscribe to her channel as well. She has amazing videos and tutorials. So I just made this the other day, and it just flips open like this. And then this flap opens like so, which we could do like a pocket here, or decorate more. I haven't actually done everything yet, but I have a side tuck kind of right here, a pocket here, and a pocket there. This opens up. We have a pocket here, which could actually flip around and go over there, but and then just that's some of my notes. A pocket there in order to place a tablet. So I actually want to make this for my brother so he can take it to church with him and make notes. So it ends up measuring about 8 1/4 in height. And then, see, the width of it is about almost 5.5 inches. 1, 2, 3, yeah, 5.5 inches, for the base. And then I just did a little spine for my notebook here. Oh, and what I am going to do, instead of the ties, I'm actually going to bring this flap on the one we're getting ready to make together to the front, and I'm going to use magnets for the closure. I'm not going to put a tie on the one we're going to make today. So that is the only thing I am going to do different. Let's get started. I'm going to take that factory fold. I'm going to line it up just at an even one. I'm at 4, so I'm just going to go over to the 4 1/4, and I'm just going to score, not press so hard. Okay, now I'm going to first, let's crease that. There we go. Alright, so now we have our little spine on the side. Right there. So, this is the crease back here that I just put in, this back one, which is the one I'm going to line up to the edge. And then I'm going to come over 5 3/8, and I'm going to score there, and then from 5 3/8 I'm going to go over to 5 5/8 and score there. So just keep that in mind. My notebooks, I did get them from Amazon. I'll measure them just here in a second. Get this creased. There we go. So then we have a spine on both sides, and that just gives us, it's just a little spine, just gives us enough room to put our little notebook in. Alright, so for the notebook itself, this is almost 5 inches by 8. So it's a 5 by 8 pad, if you want to use those. Okay, so then I'm going to turn this around, and this is the factory fold line. So I'm going to line that up. Hopefully I can hold it. And then I'm going to come over and score 5 3/8 on this side. And this is going to give us our front flap. Okay. So, opens, we have our front flap. We're going to make pockets here. We're going to make a pocket here for our notebook. Did I just do that wrong? What the heck? Okay, I did 6 3/8, not 5 3/8. So, I'm going to fix myself. I hope you guys measured right, if you're crafting along with me. Okay. Not a big deal. I can cover them other score lines up. Okay. So make sure you're scoring at 5 3/8 and 5 5/8 instead of 6 3/8. Oh. Okay. That'll fold in. There we go. Alright. Now we line up. We have our spine on both sides for the notebook. But actually, mine is going to come around like this. And I'm going to use magnets for my closure. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to turn mine around. So it's going to open like this. And then like this. And like that. So that way I have my tab at the top. Alright, so here's my boo-boo. My little spine, and my flap. That's how I have mine at the moment. So, that is going to make this part here, the bottom. So I'm just going to Let the bottom of it up at the 0, and I'm going to score at 3 3/8. And I'm just going to do the back side. Okay. And then I'm going to fold this up. And crease it in here. So I really want my notebook on this page, right here. Okay, notebook pocket. Alright, so this, I originally cut this off, but I think I'm going to cut to the left of this score mark, just a little bit. And that's just to make sure my pocket here folds up correctly. And then I'm going to cut a little bit to the right of it. And then I'm going to snip that off with my smaller scissors here. Okay, so that'll fold up, give us that pocket. Oops, this is going to be this flap, so we can fold this up as a pocket here, or we can fold it in as a pocket there. I just need to trim that just a little bit more. It was just a wee bit crooked. Okay. So that can be a pocket like that. Alright, so this one is going to be this page. So I'm going to cut to the right now of that fold. And this is going to fold up and be a pocket. And then we're going to add another pocket behind it. And then I'm going to cut to the left of the spine here. That fold. That way I'm cutting those creases away. If that makes sense. Okay. I'm going to cut to the right of this one. Okay, and then that's going to fold up, and that's going to be our notebook pocket right here. Oh, I know what I did on this one. So let's cut this off. I'm going to go ahead and finish cutting this spine here. We might need one file folder and some scraps of another. So cut that off. Okay, and then that can be a pocket either front or we can bring it to the back. Either or, we can decide that later. Alright, so I'm going to cut this flap here off. I'm trying to cut as straight as I possibly can. Okay, and then I'm just going to trim the top a little bit. And that's going to get that bump from that score. Now, this I will use over here as my double pocket. Gotta trim it down some more. Here, okay. So yeah, when I scored this, I scored it too tight and I tore it at the bottom. So this will be, I probably have scrap glue in my drawer, but so I'm just going to cut, see if I do this right, because I have it in my brain. So I'm going to cut this pocket to where I have a flap on each side. So I'm just going to go from the outside of the score line, or the outside of the spine here, to the outside of the spine here. And you can probably even make it just a little bit bigger. I'm going to go ahead and cut that. And now we want our pocket about the same height as this one over here. Doesn't have to be perfect. We will take and we will score a 1/4 of an inch, because our spine's a 1/4 of an inch, and score a 1/4 of an inch here. Okay. Don't have to miter that one, but I'm going to miter this one like that. Fold. I forgot I did that on the other one, and that's just going to give us room for our notebook to slide down. So, just like that. And then we'll glue it in right here. Alright, so let's go ahead and trim this pocket down. I want it to be the same right here. Pencil. Don't have to trim much off. Really just a sliver. Alright, like that. Now, on the other one I had the little tuck spot, which came from the flap that I cut off. But I think I'm just going to leave this the double pocket, and I'm going to leave the flap attached so I can use it as a pocket. And I think before I get too crazy, I want to go ahead and put my magnets on. Because I will forget, and then I'll be upset with myself. So I got these little magnets. Yeah, you guys can see. I got these from Amazon. And they are the best little magnets. So if I remember, I'll leave a link in the description box below, because I don't think I'll buy anything else. Okay. They have little sticky tabs, and they are good sticky tabs. They stick really well. Better than I thought they were going to. Okay, so I'm just going to lay this down. And I want to make sure that I stay away from the edge a little bit, so that when I am gluing my paper down, you can't see the magnets from the edge. Okay, I think that'll be good. Alright, and then on this side, you want to be careful. So I'm going to line up my folded edge here with the outside fold of my spine. Does that make sense? And then I'm going to press down. And that's just going to give us more room in here. Okay. There's my magnets. There we go. Magnet closure. I just thought that would be more manly. than the tie closure. Okay, now, so this pocket right here, I'm going to go ahead and trim that off straight, like so, and then I'm going to round the corners. And then I'm going to do the same with this. Okay, so I have all my edges inked. Hopefully that will help you guys kind of see where I did my spines and then my folds here. But I wanted to go ahead and, excuse me, let's glue the pockets. But, because that one I actually covered with paper and then glued the pockets, and I just put glue that's supposed to be the top of the pocket here. That's okay. That is alright. So I just glued those two little flaps that we made. I ran glue down both of those and then along the bottom. Oops. And I'm just moving it up just a little bit from the bottom. I'm not taking it right to the edge. Okay, but this one, let's go ahead, let's cover these two with paper before we glue them, because I want to make sure that I get the notches and everything right. So let's use these two. Not sure how many flowers I'll actually use. Not that I don't like them, because I do, but this is going to be a gift to my brother. And even though he likes planting flowers, I think the flowers in the notebook would be a little too feminine for him. Alright. So, let's see. Do we want to do that side or this side? Let's do this side. I like that. Alright, so I just trimmed the white off. So I'm going to trim this down here and then here. Okay. See how well that does. Okay. Since I didn't exactly measure where I put the notch, I'm just going to make a mark here in the center of that notch the best that I can. Okay, so I have a few of the papers already cut out and inked. I went ahead, I pulled this pocket up just so that I could make everything match, since I was doing the papers on this side first before I glued the pockets down. I wanted to go ahead and do the same over here. Now, on this back part, you do not have to have the paper go all the way down. You can cut it off some if you want to save some paper, which is kind of, you know, what I did here, because it's going to be covered by this pocket, so I didn't take it all the way down. So I have this one cut out as well, and then this one for this pocket. So we need to do this side and this side over here, and then of course the front side. So let's go ahead and I was thinking about going ahead and putting the flowers here. And then the flowers on this side as well. That way both of those sides match. So I'm just going to trim off the white here. And I just have my cutter over here to the side. With it being so big, I didn't want to drag it back and forth. So I just have it setting to the side. So I'm actually just going to take this one here, and it's just a tad bit larger than that way. So I am going to trace it and then cut it out. And try not to write on the paper. Oh, let's get my side here. Right there. That way I don't have to do it the hard way. Hopefully now that I've moved my camera, I'm staying in frame a little bit better. Okay, so there's that. Let's check. Yep, that is going to match up pretty well. So I'll go ahead and ink this one. So now that I just was thinking, no, I was thinking of rounding the corner down here, but I don't think I will. Alright, and then this goes to the front. I want to keep that over there. And then this one, I'm going to have to lay down because it is a little larger. Alright. And remember, I made my boo-boo right there. So that's going to be covered up. Let's see. Let's pull it down a little bit. So, but that's going to be covered up with the paper. And we can, okay, as I'm flipping it over, like so. There's my pencil right there. Hands, let's work. I'm going to trace that. And I think that's where I actually want to cut it. I don't want to raise it up because I've already got it shorter on that straight edge. Alright, so I kind of freehand that there. See how well I did. I did the wrong end. Of course I did. That'll work. I didn't get that quite right, but it'll be just fine. I'm afraid if I try and fix that rounded part, I might mess it up even more. Okay. So, we actually need another one for this side. that, is it the same? It should be the same. Yep, so let's go ahead and, well, first, decide what we want. And this is why I printed out extra papers. Okay, so I think this one on this flap. And then we can even use the flower on this little pocket and then put the polka dots back here. Alright, let me trim off the white. There we go. Okay. Alright, so we need this like this on here. Yes. Alright. Put that there. And then sometimes I do trace on the wrong side and get my image backwards. Let's see. So it kind of goes in like that, and then rounded. How bad does that look? Not too shabby, but not perfect either. Alright, so there's that for that side. And then, let's see, we'll use this piece. I'm going to open this and lay that flat. Let's use this side. It's got straighter edges. Alright, up. Just went and moved it. Get to the straight edge here. Alright, so we'll cut it there. And then we'll cut it here. Those corners, make sure, yep. Alright, let's ink before I forget. Okay, and we'll get this one. There we go. So I think we should go ahead and let's glue down what we already have cut, and then we can worry about the back panels. And then that way that does not, this goes to this. That way we can have our folio start taking shape a little bit. And I am just going to use my Barely Arts glue to glue these pages or papers down. You can use your art glitter glue, Fabri-Tac glue, Elmer's glue, glue stick. You can use double-sided tape if you want to. I'm not good with double-sided tape, so okay. There's that one. So now if you are going to use ties, like I did on this one, what I would suggest is before gluing your paper down, you glue your ties down first. And it doesn't have to go all the way around. You can have two pieces and maybe from the center, glue from the center out. But glue those down before you put your paper on. That way it's underneath. And I didn't think about that until I got to the tie. And I was like, why did I do that? But, I mean, it still looks alright. But I would have rather have put them under. Okay. Trying to put everything where it goes so I don't glue something wrong. Okay, now this one I can cut down a little bit. Let's see, let's put this over here. So then I'm going to glue my pocket back on. And actually I'm going to trim my pocket to where the bottom is even because I have that little notch there from just where the file folder was made. Okay, that'll work. So let's re-ink that. Alright, and then, you know what, forget it. I'll just leave it. It's not that much paper. I've got more printed out if I need it. It'll be alright. Get a little bit more glue over there. Okay. There we go. Okay, and then let's re-glue this. Yeah, I used the Beacon's Fabri-Tac glue, but I did catch it in time that I could pull it up. So get some glue along that bottom edge and then those two flaps. Okay. There we go. Alright, and then this one's going to glue right on top of there. Just wanted to make sure I didn't get them notches too far off. Alright, so that side's done. That's for the front. We'll get to the front in a minute. Alright, so pocket, pocket. Let's go ahead and glue our back down. glue in them corners. Alright, so now I want my pocket line my pocket up here, and then I'm going to make just a little tiny mark. Let me make sure I actually think we need to trim that off just a little bit. Here, I'll do it on my trimmer. I'll get it straighter. Okay. Not much. I just took a little sliver off to make sure that my flap over here closes right. Okay, so now I'm going to make just a tiny mark, and I'll erase it, you know, after later if need be. But that way I know where to put my pocket at. So let's go ahead, glue our paper down on the pocket, which I don't think it matters if we glue the paper down first or the pocket down. Might be easier. Oh, pooty doots. I trimmed the pocket but didn't trim my paper. Oh Lord. It's okay. It'll be alright. Okay, so let's put some glue. Nope, I don't want glue on the bottom. I just want glue on the two sides. And the reason being is so that I can put a longer tag in. Just make sure that's okay. We're good. Okay, so let's line up there. Yep. Okay, that's good. So yeah, with that being open down here, I'll still be able to slide in a longer tag. Alright, put a little glue on both sides of here. Oh, and then our paper. There we go. That doesn't look too bad. Okay, let's finish gluing our papers down. Yeah, sometimes when I'm home by myself, I actually get scared. Don't tell anybody. Because I hear noises and stuff, and I'll hear things outside, and I'll just get paranoid. I watch too many crime documentaries or something. So, yeah, I'm always checking doors a lot. Oh, that's the back side. Okay, so there we go. There's that. Okay, so let's go ahead and glue these down. And the same thing here. I didn't have to take that paper all the way down. We could have trimmed that off, you know, but it's okay. It's that way now. I'm going to leave it. Yeah, I'm trying to kind of hurry, but I don't want to hurry. I've already made a few mistakes. So I want to make sure we get to some ephemera. Make some tags or something. Alright, so there's that side. Oh, nope. Let's glue our pockets, and I'm going to use the Beacon's Fabri-Tac glue for that. Get a bit of glue going up each side here. And then, voila. We have a cute little pocket. Oh, put my lid back on here. Okay. I love making folios, if you guys can't tell. I forgot to ink this. Oh no. Trying not to get glue all over my fingers, but there we go. Hey, at least I caught it before we glued it down. Okay. There we go. Alright. Oh, ink. And this does need some more ink on it. There we go. So that'll fold. Nope. That's going to fold like that. That's going to fold over. Oh yeah. That is so stinking cute, guys. Oh, let's glue up our pocket here. There we go. And we have everything on this side, right? Yep. Let's use the polka dot sheet on this side. How perfect is that? Might just be able to get two sheets. Or both sides with one sheet. I'm not sure. We sure will. We just need to trim this one just a tiny bit. Okay. There we go. I wish I had some patriotic washi tape to put over the spine. Because I went through my craft supplies. It's been quite some time ago. And I sent a lot of stuff home with grandkids. They love crafting. And my one granddaughter from Alabama, she loves coming up here and crafting with me. And then I got a couple of the younger ones. It's like as soon as they come over, if they know I'm back here in my craft room, they are forget everything. Poppy don't exist. And they are back here trying to find something to do. I love it. There we go. Okay, so let's just start with this pocket right here. Now, I am just going to judge this because I don't know how big that, or how, far I got glue in. Okay, and then, let's see, let's do right there. And then, got my little, no, I did not print on the back of mine. I just went ahead and left them white. I know I need to go over to Pam's Etsy and see if she has like any red and blue seam binding. Yeah, that's gonna have to be turned down. Why did I not check that? I think that'll work. Okay, and then I'm gonna put that to the side. I have this brown cardstock in my stash. So I'm going to go ahead and just back these on that. Alright, throw these little ones away, but I'm going to hold on to this. Yeah, I have decided that I'm going to be picky on the scraps that I keep. Because I do use the scraps every once in a while, like I'll make a master board or something like that, but I don't use them enough that I need to keep every single scrap, which is what I was doing, and I had so many scraps, it was ridiculous. So a couple weeks ago I went through my scrap drawer and disposed of all the scraps that I knew I will never use. Okay, let's ink. Actually, let's round the corners down here. And I have decided that I am only going to keep what I know I will use. Okay, there's that. And then I'll find, I'm pretty sure I have a little bit of seam binding in a blue. Alright, so there is a tag. So I will find some of that here shortly. I think I'm going to go with this one. This is one, those who expect to reap the blessings of freedom must undergo the fatigue of supporting it. Yeah, both of my older brothers were in the military. And my middle brother served over in Germany. And so he was over in Germany when Desert Storm broke out. So he went to Saudi Arabia during the war. And that was a pretty sad time for me. I was such a little girl too. I would stay up, you know, being halfway around the world. Definitely on a different time frame. So I would stay up, real late at night so that I could call him, and make sure, you know, that they were awake. Because I didn't want to call them in the middle of the night. But yep, I was pretty happy when he came home. So, and I just cut these to where they're all the same size. Okay, so this is that really big pocket that we can make a tag for. I don't want to use polka dot. Because that'll match too much with this pocket. So I think what I want to do, oh, down here. What are you doing? Okay, so I'm going to, let's cut that about right there. Okay, ink. There. Okay. Now this little ticket just says Memorial Day, honor and remember. Alright, because I was thinking right here. And that covers up my little boo-boo I did there. Okay. It's a little too big, but it'll still look alright. Okay. Yep, I figured my brother would like to maybe take this to church with him and or use at home when he's doing Bible study at home. Okay. We need a tag for over here. So what? I think that'll work. Okay. And then let's go ahead and cut this one right above the stars. Okay. And then I'm going to back this one as well. Let's see. And then I glue that right on there. And let's try that again. Because I did not get the bottom. The bottom of it was hanging off. Okay. There we go. I am so silly sometimes. Do you guys have any plans for this weekend? Anything special you're doing? I mean, I don't plan on doing anything. I've got the pinched nerve in my back, which I think is caused by joint pain, which is irritating my muscle, which is then irritating the nerve. Yay. So yeah, no, I am I'm not going to do anything this weekend. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and punch a hole. Okay, so there's a tag for that. And okay. This is Faith, Family, and Freedom. So I thought we would put that on this. Put that right there. Okay. So I think those two for right now I'm going to leave just as it is. So put some glue on here. Okay. Get it about even. Try not to move it. Alright, now I'm going to ink this. There we go. And then put a little tiny bead of glue. And then there we go. Thank you again for joining me. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do so. That is the best way to support me. Don't forget to hit the notification bell and select all so that you don't miss any future content from me. I hope you guys have a great holiday weekend and be safe, stay warm. At least here it's not going to be very warm, so don't forget your jackets if you going out to the water or anything. But have a safe week, and I will talk to you guys again soon. Bye.